Hey, good morning. Techno Blade NYC. So I gotta start this show, and quite frankly, I don't know if I'll ever put this out, but, the whole purpose of Techno Blade NYC was to give me more meaning in life, because the reality is I'm completely isolated from everyone in solitary confinement. And I've been like this at least 90% of my life. And the closest people to me never acknowledged it or even cared, but that's what got me into the situation. So it always puts me at a disadvantage, because where other people meet me and they still go back to their family and friends, I go back to isolation in the rare events I meet people. And because of that, these people become priority within my mind, because I have nothing else to think about or nobody else to talk with. And it's amazing that on Facebook, I got a tremendous amount of comments on what I posted up. And many of the people try to say that I need therapy, and people like us need therapy. But this is a human problem. Whenever I'm around people in those small moments, I am the life of the party. I'm fun and kind and respectable. But you understand, this is just temporary friends. Through our life, every day, we meet friends all the time that are just for the moment and passing energy, and it's beautiful. But when behind the closed doors, there's always been just nothing, it becomes a tremendous problem, because you're looking to build a tribe, a community by yourself, but you don't even understand what you're trying to do, because you want to have a family as well. And that's where I come in, that I had to grow the courage to get in front of people, in front of a large audience. I don't care anymore. And I've always had anxiety getting up in front of people, because I was always made to feel like everything I say is not important. And I do this for myself, to make peace and break free, to bring some happiness to this lonely life that bizarrely sits upon me. From outsiders' perspective, it doesn't make any sense. You're good looking, you're smart, you're successful. How is that possible? The foundation at home is everything. And us as human beings cannot survive without community and connection and tribe. And we align with those that match our own power. And that's something I'm yet to find. And now I have to go to the most extreme ways to find that. I want to just thank you for listening. I'll start the music now. It's Techno Blade NYC. You can follow us on Instagram.
I'm from Holland. Where the fuck you from?
Thank you for viewing Techno Blade NYC. Look us up. Instagram, follow, like on Mixcloud. Peace.